Hey there, everybody. It's your girl Barbie J here with the recap and review of All the Queen's Men, Season 4, Episode 7, Trick Daddy. That's right. And the synopsis for this episode reads Madam and Concierge call a truce. Tony and Amp work to mend their relationship. And the truth behind Quincy's obsession with Babyface comes to light. And we all guessed most of this stuff anyway. So before we get started, if you are new here or if you are returning and have not subscribed to this channel as of yet, please take a moment right now and hit that subscribe button. Then hit the notification bell and select all, and it'll let you know every time I upload any new content to this channel. Then I ask that you smash that like button, which is the thumbs up button, y'all. Write a comment and join the conversation. Give us your 2 cents about the episode. And then share, because sharing is caring. And now, since this is my first All the Queen's Men for the new year, Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year. I hope you all have a blessed new year going forward, and may only great and wonderful things happen for you this year. Welcome to 2025. So now this episode starts with Madam. She has a straight razor to Concierge's throat, and she does a small little cut so that he can bleed and the blood is running down. And he knows that she doesn't want him dead, because if she did, she would have killed him by now. So she asks him, what are they doing? What do you want? Because they're wasting a lot of money and time going back and forth with each other, being creative and getting even. So they call a truce, and Madam said, you leave me and mine alone, and I'll forget you ever existed. But she told him if he messes with her dancers again, she'll make sure he dies. Then we have Midnight. He comes into the room with Renee, that one that she rented for her domination fantasy. And he pretends to be a rapist or something. And he covers her mouth, and she starts screaming, and he's fighting with her. And he picks her up, and throws her on the bed. And then he's like, oh, did I hurt you? And she's like, no, 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 no. And they go back to acting. She's screaming and everything. He grabs her, get your ass over here. And he slides her across the bed and rips off her panties or whatever, her thongs or whatever she has on. And he sticks it to her, and he rocks her coochie for about a minute or two. And then he leaves muttering, stupid biatch, and left. I said, I guess that was her fantasy, because she enjoyed it. Anyway, now we have Amp. He walks into Maddie B's to hear what his mother has to say. Since she wanted to talk, she started saying things that Amp wasn't trying to hear. She called him baby, and he shut that down. She said, we got to get past this, and he shut that down. He asked if she left his father yet, and then she said yes, and he wondered why she didn't leave him when he needed her. And her answer was focused around money, that he controlled all the money and paid all the bills. So he said, I know a lot of single mothers out there who were struggling to take care of their sons. So she told him that Cadillac left her Maddie B's and that she'd be around for a while. And she's hoping that this will be a fresh start for both of them. So he got up to leave, and he extended his hand to shake hers. And then she said, I love you. And he mumbled, I love you too. I never stopped, and then left. I said, oh my goodness. See, that's how kids are. Their parents could be so rotten to them, but they still have that love inside of them because they know who that person is. So now we see Belinda Blue, y'all, at her therapist appointment. The therapist keeps asking questions Blue is not willing to answer in detail. She asked the doctor, what does she need to do to get better? F all these daggone questions. So the therapist recommended an unconventional type of therapy where Belinda doesn't have to talk much, and she says she'll put it in place on their next visit. Now we have Fuego on his computer looking for these guys who raped and killed his ex. So he gets a hit on his search, and then Big D comes by for them to go to the gym. So now that place that Fuego found is some place where Big D is familiar with. And he was saying that maybe we should go there now. There's no time like the present or whatever. But then Fuego asks him if he ever killed someone. And Big D said, if I did, I wouldn't talk about it, because that's how niggas get caught. So Fuego said he was wondering if he had it in him to kill someone. And Big D's like, yo, man, that's dark. And then he tells Big D everything about the smash and kill that happened to him and what they did to his ex. So Big D is like, yo, you can't let that issue slide. And Fuego said he won't. So I don't know what they plan on doing, but Big D is down for it. He got his back. Next, we see Midnight. He opened his front door with his laundry in his hands, and here comes Renee rushing in. She thanks him for all he's done for her sexually, and she wants to be in a relationship with him. And he tells her that he's not that one-woman type of man. He likes to taste the rainbow. I like the way he put that. Then he told her he's only a call away if she needs him, and as long as she got the cash. Then she told him she had an urgent need for him to deal with right now, and so he bent her over and took care of that thing. Now at the precinct, Naima comes into work, and she's headed to her shift in the lab when she's confronted by Detective Davis and DA Rod. She tells them what happened is out of character for her and it won't happen again. And they show her a copy of her tox screen, which they received because she works for the government, and it came up positive for PCP. Naima feels that there must be some mistake. But then DA Rod tells her that because she tested positive, all of her cases are completely compromised. So this has jeopardized some old cases as well as pending cases, and Detective Davis is pissed. Naima asks if she's fired, and they just send her home, pending if she can return back to work. So it seems that this little incident has ruined their case against Madam. And DA Rod is telling Detective Davis that all evidence that went through the lab and was examined by Naima is now inadmissible. And they are pissed. So then Detective Davis asks, does anyone else know about the test results? Can we pretend it doesn't exist? And they both are like, what exists? And they just left. So I guess that's what they plan on doing. Now we have this quick scene with Tommy in the kitchen cooking up something special, and Madam walks in asking if he has spoken to Blue. He says he called, but she didn't answer. So Madam asks what he made, and he told her, and then asked if she wanted any, but she said she don't F with that dairy. And he said, well, that's why I use vegan products. He's so funny. And Madam lets Tommy know that she is feeling tense because of the upcoming trial and she needs a release. So he sets up something special for her with bells and whistles. Now we see Rashawn telling Quincy that Trouble got suspended, and Quincy don't give two hoots about her because he says she was a biatch to him, and he is right about that. And Rashawn said, well, she was the only one that had his back there. And I was like, no, she really didn't, Rashawn. I don't know what you were thinking. Her nor Champ, really. Anyway, Quincy said, well, I'll have your back now. Don't worry. It's more money for you and me, right? And then Quincy's phone beeps, and it's a message from the Peachtree fraternity. And he reads the message and keeps quiet as Rashawn tells a story about his friend. Then Quincy said, we'll see, pertaining to his results. Now Madam shows up to Tandy's house asking about the status of that eminent domain property next door to Maddie B's. And Tandy says she's working on it. Then she mentions that she was subpoenaed in Madam's trial, and Madam says she's aware of that, and she's saying, you don't know ish, right? You don't have ish to say. And Tandy said, you can count on my silence. Then Madam told her she needs some speeding tickets erased as well, and then she left, and Tandy was so annoyed with her. Next, we see Stupid Trouble selling drugs to the patrons going into Club Eden. Babyface walks up and sees her and starts messing with her, calling her an amateur. And she says, at least I don't have a gay stalker. And he asked what she was talking about. And she told him about Quincy and seeing him steal his drawers and having pics of him in the locker. And he was pissed and went inside of Eden. So now we see Attorney Levitt. He's showing up to Eden to inform Madam that he was able to get an extension for her trial, and now they need to start her trial prep. He gave her a list of everyone he needs to speak with and said that he needs to prepare them for getting on the stand because D.A. Rogers is going to be a biatch during cross-examination. And Madam says she's a biatch anyway. And then she told him about the lab tech testing positive for PCP. He said that's good news, but it's only a small piece because the charges they've brought against her are stacked up. He tells her that he needs her to settle down so that they don't add any new charges. She said she'll try, and he said, no, I need you to do it. He said, I'm good, but I can only do so much. So now we have Blue coming into Madam's office, and she doesn't tell Madam where she's been. Madam asked if she want to share, and she said no. So she says she's just checking in to see if Madam needs anything, and Madam says, I'm good. Then Blue leaves. But Madam was kind of staring into space, like thinking about Blue, like what's going on with her. So now Officer Wilmot tells Detective Davis that Vicky, the fluffer at Club Eden, died. And Detective Davis is like, fluffer? What's a fluffer? So she had to explain what it was, she gets them ready before they get on stage, yada yada. She said, ew, they got people who do that. She said, yeah, honey. Anyway, she tells her that it says Vicky died peacefully in her home. So they're figuring somebody from Club Eden can't be dying peacefully in their home. So Detective Davis is going to check it out. Then we see Face go into the amateur's locker room looking for Quincy's locker. He threatens Rayshawn to tell him, but he doesn't and quickly leaves. Face has some kind of wrench or hammer or something, and he's breaking open several locks until he finds Quincy's. He gets pissed when he sees those pictures of him in it and wants to find him, but Blue stops him and lets him know that he needs to get on the stage in 5, and he has to deal with his little personal issue on his own time, because Face was acting like it's not her business, but she said, if you messing with Madam's money, it is my business. So now we see Doc coming into Madam's office, and Tommy is staring at him so hard that it's making Doc uncomfortable. And Madam tells Tommy to leave. She said, you're making Doc nervous. Then she thanks Doc for what he did with the lab tech. So it seems he didn't even realize the effect of what he did. She thanks him with a stack of bills, which he turns down at first, saying, Madam, I got you, but she insisted on rewarding him. Then Tommy comes in and tells Madam that her surprise with bells and whistles is ready. Then we have a scene where Amp comes up behind Dime and hugs her, letting her know that he took her advice and had a sit down with his mother. She asks how it went, and he tells her what went down. And he even told her about Maddie B's. And Dime asks, does Madam know? And he said, I guess so. Dime reminds Amp that she is all about second chances because that's what she's giving him. And he's like, I know. So then we have a scene while Face, Fuego, and Big D are on stage performing a routine dancing. Rashawn finds Quincy and tells him that Face was in the locker room looking for him and was pissed. So Quincy stopped dancing and went to check on things. We also see that Madam's special relaxation treat was a man and 2 women in her bed, and 2 of them are tied by their wrists. And the other woman was told to pour wax on the other 2, and basically Madam was getting off by watching them perform sex acts on each other while she had a vibrator for herself. I was like, oh, okay, Madam, so that's how you get down? Okay. And even Tommy offered to participate, but she said, not this time, Tommy. Anyway, now we see Trouble still in front of Eden, selling drugs, and Rayshawn walks up to her and tries to stop her. But she got funky with him and stank with him or whatever, and he walked away. Then we see Dime throwing up and feeling lightheaded, and she asks Blue to cover for her so she can get her some air. And well, we all know what's happening there, right, y'all? We know what's happening there. Dime is pregnant, but by who? Amp or Big D, because Amp doesn't know she slept with Big D, and he's going to be disappointed and pissed when he finds out. So now it's the end of the night. They are all sitting around after tipping out. Doc and Amp notice how Face is looking at Quincy, and he calls him a gay-ass igger. And Quincy hears him and turns around and says, who the F you talking about? And Face jumps up in his face and said, you. He tells them about the pics that Quincy had in his locker and that he stole his drawers. And Quincy said, I can explain. And Face said, there ain't no explanation for that. And he punches him in the face. And Amp stops him and breaks them up. And Face said, he's been stalking me. And Quincy said, no, I haven't. Then he pulled out his cell phone and said, 99.9% accurate, Dad. And Face said, the F are you talking about? And Doc took the phone, and he and Midnight are looking at it, and Midnight read the message, and it said, Babyface, you are the father. And I was like, oh, snap, but we had all figured that out. But now we need to find out who is the mother. Who is the mommy? Is or is it ain't Miss Patty? Put it down in the comment section, y'all. So y'all, this is how it ended. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about this episode. Please do not forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. Happy New Year's to everybody. It's your girl Barbie J saying peace.